What's going on? Welcome back to Real World Tool Reviews. And in front of me here, I've got nothing but pry bars. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I have a pry bar slash flathead screwdriver that is used for pry bar addiction. I love them. I use them. I think that having a pry tool in every set of tools that you own is just a must-have. There's not a whole lot that I do trying to fix stuff where at some point I don't want to just grab like a flathead screwdriver and pry something. We've all done it. We've all used screwdrivers as pry bars. For a long time I didn't own any pry bars like this. I just owned screwdrivers, like this and this, ones that I just used for prying. And then I moved on to the striking cap DeWalt's here. I had this little green one with the striking cap forever. These guys are great. I really love to have a set of heavy duty striking cap screwdrivers. These Phillips heads make great punches. I've used them for as punches a lot. I have used, the flathead one. These are just great, and as a matter of fact, in my main tool bag, these two live on a side pocket, and right next to them lives this new Williams hammer that I purchased recently. And this is kind of just in the video as a side prop here. But what's great, this is a great hammer, a little dead blow hammer that is a perfect marriage between hammer and striking screwdriver or striking pry bar. And these are great. And the best thing about pry bars these days is it's one of the few tools that is actually pretty affordable to get a USA made pry bar set. And really what prompted me to make this video, more than anything, there's two things that prompted me to make this video. One is I got a new pry bar. One of these pry bars right here is a brand new pry bar, and that is this guy right here, the Mayhew Dominator straight 10-inch, I think, pry bar. I think it's a 10-inch. And this is my favorite pry bar that I own right here. The Mayhew Dominator. This is like a 16-inch or something. I love this thing. A straight pry bar is cool. I got it because, I wanted something straight. A lot of times having a straight pry bar is really useful. Like, honestly, the straight one is a lot more useful than the curved one for me. Like, I use both of these pry bars. I use this Dominator one way more than I use this Lang. And that's why I wanted to get this. And these are just great. Mayhew, stamped right in there, USA. They got a great handle here. I love the shape of these handles. The Mayhews are the number one pry bar brand, I think, in the world. They are the industry leader in pry bars. I think Matco rebrands Mayhew pry bars. I think probably lots of other tool companies probably do. And then speaking of another USA made pry bar that gets rebranded all the time is these right here. This is a Wild tool. I got this one not too long ago from Harry J. Epstein. And I love this little 8-inch pry bar. I love the handles on these. These have been being made by Wild forever. Craftsman rebranded them for a long, long time. And I got this set there was a deal for this 3-piece set on Amazon one day, long time ago actually. I've had these for a while, and I bought it. I think I paid, I probably paid $40 for these 3. It was a great deal, but they are affordable. This set is affordable. You can get this set. They sell like a 6-piece set or something that you can get these pry bars for probably $100, and these are just awesome. I love a square-handled pry bar. I think this is kind of the right way to go when you're designing a handle for a pry bar, because you want a flat part that you can push down on. And so I love these. I think these are a really nice solid plastic on these, Lang slash Wild. This is the original maker of these. You can see that they're pretty much identical. And yeah, the flat surface is kind of important. Now, these are great. I love having this big giant one. This is like a, I don't know, 36-inch or something. Let's see here. 18-inch shank. So this is a 24-inch. It's a 2-foot. So yeah, way off, not 36. That's a 2-foot pry bar. This one is a 17-inch. That's a 1-foot. And my new Dominator's a 1-foot. But you can get some even bigger, like you can get the 36-inch ones. This is a big damn pry bar, and it's actually really come in handy. I like that this one has a much longer handle. You can really, I mean, I think you could probably break into a lot of cars with this thing. But they're awesome because they have just a nice orange square beastie handle, you know, and they're great. But what I love more is this. Now, the Dominator ones, they are also pretty affordable. I think they might be about the same as the Wild ones. You can get a set of these Dominators. Like you can probably get this and maybe one smaller one for $60 or something. Really, really well priced. And they have great design on these handles. You see that curve? It fits in your hand super, super well, and really works great for just having a good grip in here. Fits in your hand great, and you can really push down on it and pry. I just love the design of these. It's a little bit of a rubbery texture, but not too much. I mean, it's a pretty much kind of a hard rubber, plastic, like plasticky rubber handle. But when you hold one of these in your hand, you are just happy. I really love these Mayhew Dominator pry bars. I would highly recommend them. They're made in the USA. They're great. Now, if you just can't afford something like that, which I think most people can, if you're looking for pry bars, get either the Wild or the Mayhew. I think that's definitely what you should go for. But if you're really on a budget, you can get you these Harbor Freights. This is like $20 or less for the 3-piece set. I don't know where my little one is right now, but I've been using them for years, and they're okay. I hate these kind of end parts like that. But I haven't broken them. I mean, you know, they're okay, but they feel pretty light. If I've used these for something really heavy duty, I'm pretty sure they'd break. Where, you know, these are the same size. This thing's way heavier. This thing feels way more heavy duty. But these are Harbor Freight Pittsburghs, and I can't say they're the worst thing I've ever had. I got them on super sale at Harbor Freight one day, and actually I haven't used these. Like, I don't know if I may have never used this one. I haven't used these two big Pittsburghs that much, actually. I use the small one all the time because the small one is like, you know, you can't. I felt like I couldn't break it. I have a. This is the one that I use now in my main tool bag, but forever in my main tool bag, I had one of those Pittsburghs about this size, and it just keeps on ticking. I don't know where it's at right now though. But then the reason I got it for a long time, I never had pry bars like this. You know, they're great for you know, like they're mechanic tools really, and I mean, I use them to do brakes and you know, when you're replacing stuff, getting stuff loose when you're working on brakes and stuff, trying to get brake caliper and rotors off and stuff. Sometimes, you know, or like pushing in those brake pads, compressing them or whatever. You know, I mean, there's a million uses. Mechanics are always using pry bars and, you know, anything that's seized on. So that's what these are really great for. But I'm not a mechanic, even though I work on my truck a lot. But for the longest time, before I got into these kind of pry bars, I just had stuff like this, you know, flathead screwdrivers. Like I've had this green one forever, and recently I found some of these good Stanley, but I've had ones like this forever. This is a great one that I use like almost daily. This is one that, look how much of a beast this one is. This is like one of those big Keystone drivers. This is nothing but a damn pry bar. I mean, I'm not going to use this for a screw ever. So, you know, you got to have the little ones. And so you want to have all these beater ones. This is actually a good little, you know, these cabinet tip ones. These are good pry tools. I use these all the time working on stuff. This is one that I made myself. This is the other reason that I'm making this video. So at the end of this video, I think we're going to make a pry bar. I made this one, and this one's just been great. And it's got threads on it. I think it used to be like a voltage tester screwdriver. So I'm going to find a way to thread something on there and weld a magnet or something onto it, like a bolt and then a magnet on top. So I'll have a magnet so I can kind of magnet this onto a truck or something. If I'm working on my cars, I can just stick it on somewhere because I've always got this in my hands when I'm working on my car. Always. These little mini pry bars are really the shit when you're working on cars. And what I've always used, like before, you know, this was this one, this little Stanley. I always used it. I've ground down the end of this because I've rounded it off, you know, just scraping and popping stuff. And it was always living in here every day, but it's always lived with my everyday stuff. But I found this Craftsman, and it fit in here better. So, and all that is really is a pry bar. It's just a little pocket pry bar for me because if I run into a flathead screw, I've got this, which I love this. It's got two different sizes of flathead, and also made by Wild Tool, by the way. Great 6-in-1 screwdriver if you're ever looking for one. But anyways, I love having just a little flathead for general prying, and I actually like how long this one is. So I replaced it, and now this lives in the shop, and this is one of my favorite little tools. It used to be about that much longer, but I've literally used this thing so much that I have ground and made it flat again 2 or 3 times just from wearing it out. I just love these Stanleys, and I did the same thing forever. These two are my ones I always use, and like you can see how I did that. I need to grind this one down. They've just been my daily little mini pry bar kind of tools forever, and so I'll put that in the pile. But when I replaced this has been working out good. But once I made this little pry bar, I realized that it would be better if I had this, but I keep this in my little mechanic kit. It would be better if I had something like this with the other stuff fitting in here. And so I figured I'd make one with a curve. And this is a nice, vintage Craftsman Western Forge. So I didn't really want to do that to this. So instead, I've got a Chinese Craftsman. This was left in a house that I was working on. Actually, my mom gave this to me. It was in a house, and she found it and gave it to me. But this one is just not nearly as nice. It's just a Chinese Craftsman. This is what you get now if you try and warranty this one at Sears or Lowe's or whatever. You'll get one of these, and it's just not nearly as good, not nearly as sturdy. It feels like I could break it in half, but it's still a good little size and perfect to fit in here with these two tools. So I'm going to turn it into a pry bar real quick, and we'll see if we can make this video. If you made it this far in this discussion about pry bars, now you'll get to see one actually get made. But before I do that, I'll just finish up this discussion. Flathead screwdrivers and pry bars are, just the essential things for, like, there's a few tools that are essential, like, and maybe I'll make another video about that, but like channel locks, 6-in-1 screwdrivers, like basically what's in this kit: channel locks, multi screwdrivers, needle nose. You can put like adjustable wrenches in that category. If you're a maintenance guy, you're in the trades, there's some things like that are just essential. And beater pry bars have always been almost at the top of the list for me. And like anything, you do this and you get obsessed with tools like I am, and you look for the best possible stuff. So then you start getting into stuff like this. But man, I have just gotten, the way I work, I've gotten addicted to having all kinds of flatheads and pry tools. It's crazy. Like, if you ever look, and someday we'll do a video about this. Now, it looks here like I've got a bunch of different screwdrivers for doing screws. And that actually is not 100% true. These are all flatheads right here. Different kinds for fitting on different screws, or just mostly beating and prying on different stuff. This is kind of like a punchy one. I beat on this one. This is the Wera. This is another Wera that is just a good little pry stuff. These are just the ones I keep on my bench. Stupid Milwaukee light. This is, another cabinet tip. This is an SK1. This one I almost completely use for stirring stuff. If I'm mixing up things on here, like this stuff, like Plasti Dip. I was just putting some Plasti Dip handles on these nice little snap-on pliers. I mix that stuff up with this. I mix up epoxy with this. This is just another little flathead that I use for that. Right here, all different flatheads. These are screw turners though. This is the screw turner one. And then over there, more little flatheads. So, and all that is basically, there's not a whole lot of flathead screws in this world anymore. It's all just pry stuff, It's just pry stuff. So, prying is an essential thing. Beating and prying is like what we do a lot of the time in this world, at least what I do, and maybe I do stuff wrong. But like, I keep this pretty much just for the sentimental value of it, but like this is what I'm talking about right here. This is my Craftsman that I've had forever, and I have been doing that to this screwdriver forever, and it's held up. But it's just this is kind of like your classic, you know. Who knows all the things that have been done to this thing over the years, but you know, crazy stuff has been happening with this screwdriver. So add this to the pile because that certainly should be in it. Lots of things just turn into pry tools. These little guys turn into pry tools, well, O-ring picks or whatever. I even use this. This is a two-sided screwdriver. One's a Phillips, and one is a pry bar. That's just what I use this for. I love this screwdriver. It's a very strong one, actually, and it works well. But this lives in my main tool bag, and if I've got this, a lot of times I'm using it for the Phillips. It has a really good Phillips, but I will turn this around and use the flathead for a pry bar in a heartbeat. I love this Klein. So, man, 20 minutes about pry bars. You know, you're watching Real World Tool Reviews. You know what it's about by now. You signed up for a 20-minute pry bar video. You knew it was coming. So anyway, here's the vise. This is all I do. This is all I did to make this one. I just heated it up, put it in this vise, and bent it. That's all I did. So that's what I'm going to do here right now. That's what we're going to do. This is the grand finale of the video. So, just going to heat this thing up and make us a pry bar real quick. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching this channel. If you made it this far all the way to the end, you're a real Real World Tool Reviews fan. It's getting pretty hot. We're getting near 2,000 subscribers, by the way. At the moment that I'm doing this, I think we're at 1950. And that is just a monster achievement to reach this amount of subscribers within the first year. I could not be more proud of it, and just wanted to say thank you while I heat up this pry bar to the viewers of this channel. Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Now, we got her heated up. What kind of angle are we looking for? We're looking for a little bit more of an angle than that. That's looking pretty good. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. I think we could use a little bit more. Yeah. I really like the angle that I got this one at. And this seems pretty close. Let's see how. Yeah, that's pretty close. So, we've now got a Craftsman mini pry bar. Just like that. So anyways, 25 minutes about pry bars, and we just made a new one. Thanks for watching.